Howdy everybody, my name is Grant, and I am here today to show you just a cool deck that I've been kind of playing around with the last couple weeks. My Radiant Typhoon cards just came in, which is the only reason I've been putting off making this deck profile. I'm a really big fan of the Tri-Brigade deck. I think that just the archetype is really interesting. It's one of my favorite decks from 2021. And every time there's a new synergy, I try to make it work. And Doom of Dimensions has just given us another one in the form of the Radiant Typhoon cards, as well as some other Tri-Brigade support. So I just want to do a deck profile, and I'm going to show off a couple of combos that I've been playing around with. Right now, with the way the deck is built, the Radiant Typhoon cards are the best starters, and the Tri-Brigades kind of are just like the engine that takes it over to home, I should say. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what I've been making, what I've been playing around with, and yeah. Let's get started. So for our Tri-Brigade engine, we're playing a fairly small engine, all things considered. Only 2 copies of Fractal, 2 copies of Kit, 2 Nerval, 1 Karis, and 1 Revolt. This is a really small package compared to what you would run historically. Normally, it would be 2 Karis, 3 Nerval, 3 Kit, and 3 Fractal. The reason we're running such a low package is because the best starters in this deck are the Radiant Typhoon cards. The Tri-Brigade cards are actually not very good starters in their own archetype, which is very funny. Basically, just because you need to have either exactly Fractal, or you need to have some combination of these cards, usually Karis with another name, or Kit that you can normal summon, link out, and then another beast in your hand to pitch off the Karis you're going to search. It's just like a lot of 2-card combos to get to your plays, and I feel like that's kind of, for the power level of this deck, I feel like that's not sufficient. I think you just really need to be going in on the 1-card combos that the Radiant Typhoon cards allow you to do. The only card I think that I would even consider breaking up to 3 would be Fractal, but I think that this deck benefits more from the non-engine it's allowed to play than the engine that's allowed to play. Because right now we're running 18 hand traps. You know, Tri-Brigade is one of the classic, or one of the original run 18 hand traps or 15 hand traps in a dream kind of decks. So I could see you putting this up to 3, but I'm keeping this at 2 just for now. I'll show you what happens when you draw them later on. For the good cards in the deck, we've got 3 Eldam. Eldam grabs the 3 Swen. The 3 Swen grab the 3 Chant. And the 3 Chant grab the 3 Eldam. We're also running 1 MST just for the engine. This is so that if you go second and you open multiple pieces of this, you're not screwed. So these cards, you can special them for free if your opponent has no spell traps or if you have an MST in your graveyard. But if you're going second, it's not only very likely that your opponent has a spell trap, but it's super likely that you have not hit MST yet, especially in a deck that's not focused on finding MST like the pure Radiant Typhoon would be, or like Runic Radiant Typhoon would be. So you do need to be playing, I think, a critical mass of these, so that way you can do normal summon one of them, activate its effect to grab an MST something, and then you can special the second one from your hand, or a duplicate copy of the first one. Or if you have 2 Chant, you can go Chant 1 to grab the MST, Chant number 2 to grab a monster, because these are once per turn in the way that the Yummy quick play is once per turn. These are the best starters. I was playing 2 of each of these originally, and I decided to max out on them just because of how efficient they are compared to the rest of the Tri-Brigade cards in terms of getting the play started. We're playing 3 Tenki. This is standard for Tri-Brigade. It grabs Fractal. Funnily enough, it also grabs Eldan, so it's just 3 more copies of your 1 card. You are functionally playing, I think this is 12 1-card combos and enough engine to reliably find a 2-card combo if you have an Eldam plus a Tri-Brigade monster and such. This deck's not the most consistent thing in the world. Again, I have to stress, I don't think this deck is very good, but it is certainly very fun. And so, it counts for something in my book. 1 call by, just because hand traps do screw this deck up hard, and I would rather not see them. In terms of hand traps, we are playing 18 of them. We got 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Droll, 3 Bell, and 3 Fawalas for hand traps. I'm sorry, 18 on engine, not just 18 hand traps. These are the good hand traps this format that this deck can play. I would play Impulse or Purge if I could, but this deck cannot afford the attributes to do so. One small synergy is Fuwalos as a winged beast. So there are several combos that require you to either have a winged beast in your opener, or if you have a winged beast in your opener, you could grab like a more explosive opening. So if you just have like a Fuwalos that's dead, you can pitch that for Chaos or like normal summon that to extend your plays. 3 droplet. This is just I think a pretty decent card right now, all things considered. It's always been good in Tri-Brigade because you've had like extraneous copies of Tenki that are just sitting on the field doing nothing that you can send. You can chain like a quick play and then go chain link to droplet to send the quick play. And also like if you just send either Nerval or Kit, that's really good because it lets you get the search off of those while getting a negate out of the way. So it's just like really good synergy in this deck in general. Yeah, it's just pretty decent. I also think it's like okay into the meta right now. It's not phenomenal, like crazy, like FDK the opponent, but it's certainly pretty good. That's it for the main deck. I'm not going to show the side deck because I don't really have a side picked out, but I do have an extra deck and I do have some combos I'm going to show off. So for the extra deck, we've got 2 copies of Mauser. I have played 3 of this, but I think 2 is probably where I like it. 1 Farajit, sometimes you need this to special just an extraneous guy from hand. 1 Bearbrum, Jesus, I couldn't remember the name for a second. 1 Bearbrum, just so that you can find the Revolt. Rugal is probably the most cuttable card in the extra deck, but sometimes you do need to make a 3. So I think you either play this or Hooray. Hooray Svilgar is really good in the situation where you need to out something in the graveyard, but Rugal you can hard make instead of just having to rely on the Tri-Brigade effects to get into. So I think there's not like a wrong decision, but I prefer the Rugal generally speaking. We got 3 copies of Shureg. I don't know if you need 3. I haven't having 3 come up a lot in testing because what'll often happen is you'll Tri-Brigade make a Shureg, you'll send it off so you can search off the Shureg, and then you will hard make a second Shureg over the course of your combo. On your opponent's turn, because Shureg does not require itself to be this Beast Warrior Wing Beast that's special summoned, if you just summon like this while you have a Shureg on the field, you will get the Shureg banished, and then on your turn 3, you can summon the 3rd Shureg to get just like a lot of attack on the field. And usually how you're OTKing is when you have 2 Shureg and you're swinging it. I could be convinced that this could be something else, but I really like having just the 3 available to you. 1 Bucephalus and 1 Garura to go along with it. This is just so that you can dump a Kit and a Bucephalus off of the Mauser, because you've got a really convincing first send in Kit. You have a less convincing second send. Usually, if you have guys in the banishment, that could be Shureg, but oftentimes you just need to like gain more advantage, so just the end of the draw is pretty good. And this extra deck is not incredibly tight in the slightest, so it doesn't really matter. That's it for like the Tri-Brigade part of the engine. Just some other beasts I am playing is 1 Snatchy. This is just so that if you get like impermed on something very early, you could like normal a guy, or like if you had Fractal plus a name, for example, you go Fractal, they ash the Fractal to keep you from getting a critical mass of Beast Warrior Wing Beast in the graveyard. You normal summon any other Tri-Brigade name, activate the effect for 1, summon the Snatchy. You could also do this with the Scareclaw Lightheart. That's what people did before, but Snatchy is 100 more attack, so I'm picking that one. You summon the Snatchy, and then you can make Mauser after that. 1 Double Dragon Lord, it's part of your end board, and 1 SP, not a Beasties Warrior Wing Beast, but it's just generically pretty good. I'm also running 1 Gossip Shadow, just if you have like a critical mass of the Radiant Typhoon cards. It allows you to make like an extra negate before committing to your plays. And then I am playing Mud Dragon. The reason is because I think if you're committing to playing the Garura in the extra deck already, it's very easy to commit to playing the Super Poly. So if I were building a side deck for this deck right now, I would probably play Super Poly in the side with the Mud Dragon, but I don't really have a side deck worked out, so here we are. But this can be like, if you don't want to play Super Poly, this can be literally anything. It doesn't matter. I was playing Scareclaw Triheart, the Link 3 that's like a Bagooska, like the terrible Bagooska, just so that it was like a little bit harder for them to interact with my board because removal is so good against the Tri-Brigades. But yeah, this could be anything. It doesn't matter. This extra deck is not particularly tight. You could play Prosby, I think, but you're really only Prosbying for 3, so it's like, you know. That is the deck list. I'm going to go ahead and show you just like the 1-card combo and like some easy lines for playing around like Nibiru and Fualos. So the 1-card combo that I'm going for is with Swen, or any Radiant Typhoon card, or like a Tenki to find one. You go Swen. Swen finds you a spell. You can grab Chant. Chant will go ahead and get you Eldon. Special Eldon. Eldon will get you a monster. You can just grab another copy of Swen. If you have another Beast Warrior, Wing Beast in hand that you don't mind discarding, you can grab the MST here instead. Link 2 into... Nope, not that one. Into the Mauser. And then we're going to go Mauser effect. It's going to dump Bucephalus from the extra deck. And a kit from the main deck. We'll go Chainlink 1 kit, Chainlink 2 Bucephalus. I really like chain blocking the kit, so I can guarantee to get that name in rotation. If you have like 2 names in rotation, you can do it the other way to guarantee the draw. It doesn't really matter. Bucephalus is going to send the Garura, and then the kit is going to send a Nerval. Nerval effect search, Garura effect to draw. We'll just draw Droplet, sure. And then Nerval is going to search out the Karis. Now, the reason we need the extra Beast Warrior Beast is because Karis is going to special itself, pitching the Swen, and we'll talk about why I'm specifically doing that line, or I'm choosing not to normal summon like a name in a moment, once you guys see how Nibiru plays into this. This is the 4th summon. We're going to go Karis effect for 4. Just a tip from someone who's done this a lot. I like to make sure I have a Nerval and a kit in my banishment, so that way when I revolt, I always have the ability to search, because I don't want to go like a Nerval from my graveyard if I can get a Nerval from my banishment out. We're going to make a Sure Egg here, and then we're going to link these 2 out for a Bearbrum. Sure Egg effect's going to activate. You can grab whoever you want. I usually grab Fractal to keep a diversity of names in my deck. What's important here is if they nib you here, that's fine, because then you'll get the Bearbrum trigger, you'll get the Revolt, and then you can pass on that and be fine. But if they don't nib you here, you can normal summon this Fractal, and then go Fractal effect for 2. I'll just banish these 2. You can make the double Dragon Lords, and then these 2, and then you can send the Fractal if you want. I will, just so I don't have a Dingus on the board, but you can keep it on the board. I don't know if it matters, really. You're probably better off just keeping it on the board, but, you know. And you're going to make a second Sure Egg. And again, this is just so that you can make the Mauser on your opponent's turn. And so then you're going to trigger the Bearbrum, grab the Revolt, put something from your hand in the bottom of the deck, doesn't really matter what, and you're going to pass on this. And so on your opponent's turn, you get to Revolt. I usually try to Revolt first for a reason you're about to see. In this situation, I'll just do these 2. These 2 to summon out the Mauser. Sure Egg effect here is going to trigger, so will the Nerval. You can also chain block with the kit if you want, but I don't play a lot of names, so I generally don't. And then at some point, you can go double Dragon Lords to bounce, and you can send the Mauser. And then the Mauser effect gets to trigger here, meaning you get to book something else on the field, which is pretty neat. Which is why I like to use the Revolt first, so that I can get the Mauser into the field so that I can send it off the DDL. And then you have follow-up. And generally speaking, in this deck, how you're going to kill is you're going to have these 2. This gets a little attack boost from its own effect. You can go for the a second or a third Sure Egg, and then that is lethal right there. Which is cool. I'll show you guys what to do under Fualos for the same combo, and what to do under Nibiru. So we'll just got that. Under Fualos, basically they're going to Fualos you probably when you have this board state, right? When you have this setup. Fualos here because I know everybody's to make the link to. That's fine. You make the link to. Mauser effect, and this time Mauser is going to send the Bear Brum and the kit. You have to do kit. You can't draw one here because you need to get the correct amount of Beast Warrior Wing Beasts in your graveyard that have been properly summoned. So this kit will give you 2 more names, which will be 4 for Shureg. The Bear Brum can't be summoned because it wasn't properly summoned. You'll go Bear Brum 1, kit 2. Bear Brum grabs your Revolt, kit stumps Nerval, Nerval grabs like a Fractal. You'll put back just an extraneous card from your hand. It can be the Swen. And then you've got Follow-Up, a non-targeting banish, a search, which is not like incredible. It's no detonator into Fua, but it is 1 draw, and like you're getting most of the end board out of it anyway. So I think it's like fine, you know. This is a rogue deck. We're just doing our best. So that's what you do into Fualos, and then you may ask, what do you do if they just like imperm the first guy, knowing that they're probably not going to get a good chance to interact later on? Well, if you have 1 additional Beast Warrior Wing Beast, I'll just go with like a Fractal here, or you could go with like a Nerval. They special summon the first guy, you activate the effect, they think you're on pure Radiant Typhoon and they want to imperm it, or they just don't want you to get your wheel spinning. That's fine. Imperm this, no problem. Normal summon the Nerval, and then you can go link 2 for the Mauser once again, and then you just keep doing the combo from there. I think in this version you do not get the double Dragon Lords, but you get the Revolt set up, and you get to end on a Shureg, so that's still, you know, not too bad. And then, of course, any combo that you do is going to be backed up by like 2 or 3 hand traps. So yeah, that's the deck. I think this deck is really cool. I really hope it can do something eventually. Maybe we'll get more Tri-Brigade cards in the next set with the new lore. I don't really think we will, but it'd be cool if we did. This is a deck I'd probably take to like a more casual locals for like a week or 2 just to play around with when the meta gets stale. I'm planning for this for after Pittsburgh because nothing's going to happen for us after Pittsburgh for a while. But that's all I've got for this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more rogue deck profiles, just let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.